Hello there. We're in part 4, which is the children of God. We're at the phase of life that's childhood. The books that we focus on in the Bible are Joshua and Judges. As you know, Joshua was the successor of Moses. He took over the leadership position. God gave his people, Joshua, to lead them into the promised land that he had promised them, and gave him the job of prophet and judge and leader over Israel. The biblical view of a child is one of faith. It is one of trainability. When you're in childhood, you have a lot of learning that goes on. You can memorize things easier when you're a child. You can rebel. You choose obedience and disobedience as you become more and more aware of the rules that are set up around you. So for Israel's stage of development, that's where we are with Joshua and Judges. They are entering the promised land. So in a sense, they're given this gift of freedom and to some degree independence. But God wants them to continue to depend on him. He knows that's what's best for them. But yet, they too often rely on themselves. And isn't that very much like a child? They know just enough to get into trouble. They know just enough to feel like they can go anywhere without their parent, and yet the parent, being much more aware and concerned and responsible, wants that child to remain close to them so that they can be protected and provided for. So that's the hallmark of the stage that we're in for Israel now, the childhood stage. As I said, they are considering obedience and disobedience. This is a major theme when they enter the promised land. Will they go the way of God and follow his way, or will they be distracted or follow the way of other gods? There is a phrase that is repeated over and over in Joshua, that Israel did evil in the eyes of the Lord. There are clearly times when Israel chooses the wrong way, the way that is not God's way, and they have to suffer the consequences. And then they work with Joshua. Joshua works on their behalf to speak to God, and then they are back in God's protection and provision. In fact, when it comes to the promised land, they are battling their enemies left and right, and they are successful when God is with them, and they are defeated when God is not. And that is a clear training that God is using to shape his people and to help them to learn that dependence upon him is not only in their best interest, but will bring them victory and the promises of God. And that reward is unparalleled. So we see this very clearly, this obedience and disobedience, again, a marker of the stage of development of childhood. And we also see that the section, particularly in Judges, where God sends judges to Israel, that there are times when tragically they are held accountable to their actions, and their consequences are grave. This is the summary for Joshua and Judges in childhood, and our next section in part 5 is focused on adulthood. And in adulthood, we face trial and loss and tragedy, and those are all parts of the next phase of Israel's life and history.